YouTube? It's your girl Jasmine, aka Jazzy J, and I'm back with another video. Today, y'all, I'm gonna be bringing you this well-deserved story time. And I know y'all see me in a different scenery. Just don't even worry about that because you're gonna understand once you hear this story. So this story is about the worst apartment I've ever lived in, honestly and truly. I'm gonna name drop the apartments, I'm gonna name drop the manager, I'm gonna name drop all of that because I feel like it needs to get out. I am not the only person who deals with this. If you look up these apartments, you'll see. And for anybody who came here from the Google reviews, just know that you will want to stay, because if you're even considering living in these apartments, you're gonna want to run as soon as you hear all of this. Before we get into this video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment down below, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video, because you don't want to miss this. And let's just get into this video. I am so excited to tell my story on this and my experience, so that I can help other people. I've been waiting for so long to put a review on Google or anywhere else, but I thought YouTube might be the best place to do that at. The apartments I'm talking about today are called Fountain Parc Apartments, P-A-R-C, Fountain Parc Apartments in Indianapolis, Indiana. And at first it wasn't too bad. When we moved in, of course y'all know, when you do a tour, they don't ever give you what you toured. They don't ever show you nothing like what you're gonna get. So when we did the tour, of course, they had nice wood floors and everything. When we moved in, they actually had tile floors in the bathroom and whatnot. So not tile like, you know, big square tile, small itty bitty tiles like public restrooms at a jail. But we were like, okay, we can make do with what we got. We can put rugs over it and everything, and we'll make it different than how it was. So we were okay with that. And then when we moved in, the air conditioning was not working. So I did go ahead and call the office and let them know, okay, if the air conditioning is not working. They came out same day and they fixed it really quickly. That was a huge plus for them, because at our apartments before this, we were without air conditioning. While I was 9 months pregnant, we were without air conditioning for weeks on end, and it was horrendous. So I was really scared that was going to happen here too, but it didn't. So that was a plus for them. So fast forward a little bit, we were needing to get our mail. We did not receive a mailbox key when we moved in. It took us a month to get a mailbox key from the apartments, and by then they had already switched management. I'm not sure who it was, but we were seeing different people in the office every single day. Honestly, they went through managers like crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. And I was at the office numerous times going off because I'm like, why don't we have a mailbox key? We're trying to get our mail, and our mail is basically held hostage because we don't have a mailbox key. Yeah, and nobody had any sense of urgency behind it or anything like that. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. By that time, I asked for corporate's number, because I'm like, okay, if these apartments have this problem, how many other problems are they going to have? And if I have to contact corporate, then that's what I will do. Mailbox key, fine, we got the mailbox key. Really, a couple weeks into moving into the apartment is when everything bad really started. So all of a sudden we start having a leak coming from our dishwasher going all over the kitchen floor, literally all over the kitchen floor, water all over it. And we're calling them like, hey, we have water all over our kitchen floor, like this is emergency, we have a baby, what are you, like, come on. So they did have someone come out and fix it, but a couple days later the same thing happened again, water leaking all over the floor. They just keep coming fixing it, and then it keeps going back. Finally they had somebody come and fix it for a long term, and that actually worked for a little while. He actually said, yeah, somebody didn't install the dishwasher right, so that's why this keeps happening. Somebody didn't install the dishwasher right? So why are you selling an apartment with an improper dishwasher installation? Shouldn't you have somebody knowing what they're doing if you're going to have contractors out here renovating other apartments? But somebody didn't know what they, right. So we were like, okay, whatever. You know, we have to live out this lease anyway. Fast forward a little bit, and our sink got stopped up, our kitchen sink. Water was rising out of the sink without us using it, so it just continued to rise, continued to rise, continued to rise. We were scared it was gonna get all over the floor, and it was sewage water. It was not clean water, it was nasty, it was black, it was gross. Literally water, it just kept filling the sink up. We had to take it into our own hands to get like pails and things and actually go pour the water outside. We kept calling maintenance, kept calling maintenance, kept calling maintenance. This is around the time that, you know, they switched management again. And so I go to the office and I'm like, this is an emergency. Somebody needs to come fix this, because if we let it go overnight, it's going to get all over the floor. Nobody comes to fix it. Nobody. So we're left with a sink that we can't use. We have to use the bathroom sink for everything. All of our dishes, it had this mess all over it. It was disgusting, and nobody at the office seemed to care. And so then I call corporate, and corporate does not seem to care either. Corporate calls the office, literally. Corporate acts like they care, and then they call the office and tell them, hey, did you guys know that we have this going on here? First of all, you're corporate. You should be telling them, this is what you guys need to go fix. This is what needs to be done. Not asking them, hey, do you guys know? Don't you think that they would have known already if I'm calling you? Exactly. Corporate does nothing for these apartments at all whatsoever. They barely answer their phone. So I think they have me on like a do not answer list now because of all the times that I've tried to call. However, I told corporate all of my issues and nothing got resolved. I go to the office the day after I call corporate, and I tell them, somebody needs to get in there now, because this is going to get all over our floor. This is ruining our dishes. It ended up going down in the bottom under the sink. It ended up under there. We had to use a bunch of our towels for this dirty, nasty sewage water. And who was getting reimbursed for that? And did we not have to pay rent the whole time that our sink and everything was broken? No, absolutely not. We did have to pay rent, the full thing, and it couldn't be late. So at this time I go to the office and they tell me, yeah, we actually don't have a maintenance man right now. How in the world do you run an apartment complex without a maintenance person? Anything can happen. You know, air conditioners go out in the summer, heat goes out in the winter. Like there's too much that can happen as to where you just don't have a maintenance man and you're just like, oh yeah, well, when somebody gets hired, then somebody gets hired. No, absolutely not. That is not how any apartment complex should be run. You have people to do renovations, but you don't have maintenance people to handle issues with your actual residents. And mind you, we're paying over $1,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. I understand that's fine. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. You know, the price should be over $1,000, but this was worth about $700. Not even that. I'm not even gonna joke with you. The kitchen, you know, in the kitchen under the sink where it has like a little you know, a bar, as if it would be like a drawer, but it's not a drawer because it don't open. I know y'all all seen that before, so don't act like you didn't see it before. That was broken when we moved in. You don't have a maintenance person, so we're supposed to just live like this. We're supposed to just not be able to do anything with our sink. Well, are you guys gonna call plumbers, contractors? Somebody needs to come out to fix this. All of a sudden, the old maintenance person shows up at our house. So you don't have a maintenance person, but your same old maintenance person that you had come before came again. Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, it got fixed. Didn't clean up the water, but he fixed the sink. So I was like, okay, whatever. I come home one day, I was at work. I come home one day and open the door, and there's a cat standing in my living room. A cat, a big orange cat. Anybody who knows me, knows 100%. I'm sorry to all y'all cat lovers. I don't do cats. I don't do cats. I had no clue why this cat got here, how this cat got here. And I know you're probably wondering, how is this a maintenance issue? How is this a problem with the apartment? I'm getting there, but I just had to express to you how I would not have a cat. When I tell you I called the office so freaking fast and I was like, there is a cat in my house and I don't know how it got there. The doors were locked, nobody got in. I don't know how there's a cat in my house. And do you know what they said? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know how it got there. Mind you, this was a switching managers again. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so how do I get it out? Because I'm like, I'm not touching this cat. I don't know. I'm not doing that. I don't know if this cat has rabies. I don't know whose cat this is. I don't know what kind of house it be in. I don't know if it's dirty. I'm not touching this cat, going near it, none of that. And it's just roaming all around my house, on my couch. No, I'm not doing it. No. And so I asked her, I said, do you have somebody who could come and get this out? Because how am I going to get in my house if there's a cat roaming around in it? I'm not doing that. Mind you, it starts hailing outside and everything, so I'm trapped outside because I'm not going in there with that cat. I don't care what nobody says. If I should have just got the cat, I was not getting that cat. I don't care. Come to find out, the cat was actually the neighbor's cat in our apartment, in the pantry. there is a flap that is not sealed, and it's on both sides of both your neighbor and you. And so they did have this cat. This cat crawled through that flap and got into our house, was all in our cabinets, was all everywhere. When I tell the office this, they're like, oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. I'm like, okay, so is somebody gonna come fix the flap? No one came to fix the flap. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put in a request for it. No one came to fix the flap just sitting there wide open. We ended up having this boy from upstairs. He came down and got the cat and put it outside. So of course the neighbors don't know where the cat is. But honestly, I didn't care. And I was very upset with the apartments because I'm like, you know, one of my other neighbors, she was like, yeah, because in the pantry, they don't have them sealed. So the other apartment can actually see through to your apartment. You could see through to the other apartment. Do you know that's like, are you serious? Like, that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. And the apartments did not give a sweet S word about the cat being in my house. What if I was allergic to cats? What if any of this? And then it's like, you don't even have the decency to fix it afterwards. You know, anything could have came through there. You shouldn't have any entry where it can be like, oh, you can see through to the next apartment. Like, that shouldn't, no, that's not even the biggest thing. I know, I'm sorry that I'm rambling and that the video's getting very long, but y'all have to hear this. Around March or April, I woke up and I go in the hallway and there was like a wet patch in the floor, and I'm like, what is that? And it was like freshly wet. Like, we had just woke up and everything. So I'm like, it couldn't have been anything that we spilled or anything like that. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it was something from last night. Like, I don't know, but I didn't think we spilled anything. It was just a patch on the floor. It was about the size of my hands here. That's weird, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. I go to work. He calls me and he's like, that patch that's in the floor is like growing. I'm like, growing? What are you talking about is growing? It's starting to spread in the hallway. And we're like, okay, maybe we should contact maintenance. Contacting maintenance. When I tell you they didn't come out at all, they didn't come out. Within the next couple of days, the entire hallway, all the way into both of the rooms were soaked. Literally, the floor was soaked. The hall bathroom floor soaked. Water, standing water in there, actually. There's water coming from the ceilings. We were like, what is going on? Call maintenance again. Again, nobody comes out. Okay, so we're like, how are we supposed to live like this? Mind you, they were renovating the apartment that's on, you know, to the back of us. And we're like, okay, is it coming from that? Like, what's going on? They finally come. Before they tell us it's from that, they tell us, oh, well, it's from the apartment above you. I'm gonna go tell them to shut down, to not use that bathroom. They tell them that still doesn't work. There's still water coming very quickly, all in the bathroom. That was our only shower in there, so we had to go in there to shower. And then they tell us it's sewage water on top of that. This water is like yellow and nasty on the floor. We have to walk around the house with shoes on, and mind you, this is around the time that Lay was learning to crawl, so this was actually not acceptable at all with me. I called corporate numerous times. Did not answer. Okay, I left plenty of messages, no answer about anything. Okay, so it just continues to get worse. And they're like, oh, okay, I told them not to use the bathroom. They find out, oh, it's not from up there, it's from the construction back here. I'll tell them not to use this. They tell them not to use whatever they were talking about. Didn't work. Okay, so they don't know what the problem is. They stopped coming out. They keep having water extraction come and dry the floors and take the water up, but the water comes right back. Literally, it got to the point where we're walking around sloshing with our shoes on. It's spreading everywhere. It's getting to our belongings. We had renter's insurance with Toggle, and when I tell you Toggle is trash, don't use them, because you know what they do? They go to the apartment complex and say, hey, is this unlivable? Can they still live in this? And you know what the apartment complex says? Yeah, they can still live in it, walking around sloshing with an infant, you know, who's learning how to crawl with sewage water all everywhere. Yeah, so they told us that we were filing a false claim, so we were not able to find anywhere to stay. while they were figuring out what they were doing, we weren't able to get any type of compensation for our belongings that got destroyed because of all of this. None of that. So don't get Toggle. I definitely don't recommend getting Toggle, which is what the apartment complex actually recommended. So I would definitely not get them. This is another time when the apartment management switched. Literally, there were so many different people who were the apartment managers of this place. Is crazy. And I'm going to go ahead and insert the video here. Hopefully you can see it, but I just feel like that's ridiculous. That's unacceptable for anybody to have to live in. And then all of our things, a lot of our stuff got destroyed in that. And it's ridiculous that we had to try to keep our baby away from all of this water that was just destroying the entire hallway, the entire bathroom. It was crazy. It even started to go into the bathroom and closet that was in the other room. So it was ridiculous. You know, we did a lot of going off on the office, a lot of it, both me and him. So they didn't know what was going on for so long, and it was so ridiculous. We were so tired of living like that, and there was no relief at all. So what we did was I contacted the Marion County Health Department, and I asked for someone to look into this because it was dirty sewage water that we were being forced to live in. They would not tell the insurance company that it was unlivable. They knew that we had a baby and that we were just inhaling all of that. There was mold that began to, you know, come up in the walls, and there was just it was disgusting. It was nasty. We did have an agent come out. I forgot her name, but she was so nice, and she came out and she looked at everything, and she's like, yeah, this is gonna have to get torn out. They're gonna have to fix this. So she actually said, yeah, I've spoken with them numerous times. The girl from the health department said that she's spoken with these apartments numerous times. Run. So she was like, they have 24 hours to fix this. She said it's a 24-hour order, and if they don't fix this, I will be back tomorrow. That 24 hours went by and they did not come, and she came back out and she went to the apartments once again, and she was like, you have to fix this. There's no other option, or you have to get them a new unit. So that didn't go too well with them. So they came and fixed it. However, it was back the same the next day. So we went to the apartments to go off once again, and there was a gentleman there. I'm not sure of his name. I don't know, honestly, but he offered for us to stay at a different apartment. We're thinking it's going to be a different like apartment within the same complex. No, it wasn't. It was a different apartment in a whole different complex down the street. It was one bedroom. It was smaller. It was their model home. We don't know when it's been cleaned. All their furniture is in there. We don't know who was living in there. We don't know where they got this furniture from. There could be bed bugs. We were like, no, we're not doing that. So we didn't, because our internet would have had to get moved down there. All of this stuff would have had to get moved down there, because they were talking about they had to gut the wall to see what was actually going on. And I'm like, absolutely not. So then we should be getting some type of compensation. We should be getting something for our rent, something. We should be able to live in a place that's livable. If you're literally giving us another place to stay, then you should have told Toggle, the insurance company, yeah, we need you to cover somewhere to live for them. And that was part of our insurance. And we still didn't get it because the apartment, that's part of the insurance that we were paying for. That was in our package. However, the apartments did not tell them, hey, yeah, this is not livable. So we didn't get to have somewhere else to stay. They did end up having to actually cut a big hole up in the ceiling. They found the issue, and so they came and cleaned up the water and everything. So that actually did solve the issue once they cut that up there. However, they left the hole in the ceiling for at least a month. It was right above the toilet. We didn't want to use the bathroom because we're like, what's going to come from up there? Since that, there were no huge big issues. That was really the main issue there. However, I did have an issue with one of the maintenance men. I don't know of his name, but he was at our apartments on numerous occasions to fix stuff. What happened was we just constantly were having issues, constantly. So what happened was our dishwasher and sink stopped up. Once again, there was rising water in the dishwasher along with the sink, and it was getting all over the kitchen floor. I called the emergency maintenance, and they took the request, and I was like, okay, and can you also let them know that if somebody doesn't come out tonight, I am going to contact the health department. They didn't like that very much. So the maintenance man calls me, and he's like, yeah, so what's going on? And so I told him what the problem was. He was like, okay, well, I have these other air conditioners to fix, so I'll be over there when I can. And you know, you can't just threaten to call the health department just because you have an issue. That's not how you get your issue resolved. Who the hell are you talking to? What do you mean that's not how I get my issue resolved? You was over there tonight, were you not? Because if I didn't threaten to call the health department on you, I know what was going to happen. You're going to go on days and days and days and weeks, and still nothing was going to be done. I can do what I want. You're not going to tell me what I can and cannot do. So after he said that, I called corporate and left them numerous voice messages. No one called me back at all whatsoever. So that did get fixed. Here's where I'm about to start name dropping. Property management switched once again, and her name is Sheila Akbar. She tries to kind of talk you down or talk to you like you're somebody, like you're her child. I'm not your child. We moved out in August, and in July, towards the end of July, I'm trying to, you know, plan out all the bills and everything. The rent is usually $10.63. Since we were moving out, we would have prorated rent. I go to the office because the air conditioning is out. I let her know the air conditioning is out, and I ask her, hey, you guys don't have our prorated rent anywhere. Are you able to give me that amount? She was like, so when's your move out date? And I said, it's August the 23rd. And she's like, do you want to just pay the entire month and then I could just refund you the money for the days you didn't use? I said, no. We did that with another property, with the other property that we were just at, and it took like 90 days for us to get that money back. So no, we're not going to do that. And she's like, so that was another company, wasn't it? I was like, yeah, it was another company. And she was like, okay, so yeah, so with ours it's different. So it would be, so you would get refunded that with your deposit up to 45 days. I said, okay, so you can't give me a prorated rent amount? And she was like, I can't give it to you right now. I can give you the prorated rent in August, but I won't be able to give it to you. I said, okay, well, I'll just be back on August 1st and see if you have that prorated rent amount for me. What? You're not gonna punk me into giving you more money? It was like at least July 27th-ish, went back to the office, and I'm like, okay, our air conditioning is out again. Okay, she put that down. I said, okay, do you have a prorated rent amount now? It's getting to be August. I'm trying to figure out my bills. Still, literally no prorated rent amount. Okay, I just feel like, first of all, as an apartment complex, you can sit there, you're the apartment manager, you can calculate my prorated rent. She didn't give us that information, and she sent me an email, a nasty email at that. She was like, I looked over your file and your move out date is actually on August the 22nd and not the 23rd, and charges will continue until you turn in the keys and do the key return form and all of that. And so I sent her a nasty message back, and I said, okay, I have never been in an apartment where they're not able to give me a prorated rent amount until the month starts. I said, I have a child and we have other bills to pay. You're not the only bill that we're paying, so therefore we need a prorated rent amount. I'm not giving you a full month's rent. I told you before, I will need a prorated rent amount, or I'm not going to pay the rent. Like, at the end of the day, that's what was going to happen. And I said, so does this mean that since you're saying the charges will continue, is that supposed to scare me? Does that mean that we're not going to get a prorated rent amount? We won't know until the end of August, and then you're going to go ahead and put on all the fees because you didn't tell us a prorated rent amount? No, I'm not doing that. This management is very poor. That's what I told her. This apartment complex is run very poorly. She responded back and said, I advise your prorated rent for August will be finalized on August 1st. Yeah, so she never gave us a prorated rent amount. I ended up going onto the online portal, and I saw that our prorated rent was the $755. I don't know. That was the end of it, really. Like I said, Sheila, she has zero personal skills, zero customer service skills, zero regard for anybody else. Her mouth will get her in trouble with the right people. I'm very professional, and I know how to keep myself classy. I know how to keep from, you know, exploding on somebody, going off on somebody. She did try to present herself as, oh, I'm here, so everything is about to get better. No, it's not. Some people may like her. I don't. I'm sure most people don't, but you know, it is what it is. It's a job. She'll be gone soon, just like everybody else was gone. And this apartment complex is just trash. It's not worth renting these apartments. I know the pictures might look nice, but you're gonna go in there and you're gonna be living in a living hell like we were. And I have all the evidence and everything that I need to back it up. So if you do want to see pictures or anything else like that, I can actually like show you that. I can send it to you, whatever you need. But I just suggest do not move into this apartment apartment, and I don't care corporate see it, I don't care if Sheila see it, I don't care whoever sees it, I don't care. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this long story, the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this. If I did help you, don't forget to smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video, because you don't want to miss this. And I'll see you guys in the next video.